Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Kennedy Price and I make videos about motherhood, family, travel, pretty much just all of the things that I like. And today I am gonna be sharing with you all about our recent trip to 30A in Florida and our beach vacation, as well as some tips and advice about how you can book your 30A trip, things to bring, where to stay, what to do, where to eat, the most important things. And so all that being said, I hope you like the video. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you end up liking this video, please leave a like down below. I appreciate it so much. And without further ado, I will jump right into the video. Okay, so first things first, what is 30A? And I feel like also, where is 30A? So what is 30A? 30A is a stretch of highway in Florida, along which it's right on the coast of Florida in the Panhandle, and there are a ton of little beach towns on this highway. And so when people have these like blue and yellow 30A bumper stickers on their car, that is what that bumper sticker is referring to. It's this stretch of highway. And so a lot of people will go there for vacation. And when you do go there for vacation, a lot of people have their favorite little beach towns. There are so many of them. Seacrest, Water Sound, Seaside is one of the more famous ones. It was actually where the movie The Truman Show was filmed. So if you've seen that movie with Jim Carrey, then that is Seaside and surrounding areas. Watercolor, which is where we like to go. Rosemary Beach, which is another popular one. I have some friends who love going to Rosemary Beach. Alys Beach. What else? So those are the ones off the top of my head. If you search on a map for Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, that's generally like that's the area, I think the overarching area, but so that is what and where 30A is. 30A is a great beach spot. It's gorgeous. It's great for families. You can stay there for a week and have the most relaxing time. The beach and the water is stunning. So if you're like me and you're from Texas, specifically Houston area, we have Galveston, which is nearby, but everyone knows Galveston is not the most beautiful place in the world. The beach is brown, the water is brown, and it's just not as stunning as the beaches off of 30A. So if you like going to the beach, if you love relaxing with the sound of the ocean, like my mother-in-law does, if you want to take a road trip to somewhere that's really fun, it's definitely within driving distance of most places in kind of the southeast, and it's great for kids, great for large groups, lots of fun things to do there. You can shop, there's great restaurants, you can play at the beach, you can go to pools, you can be outside, there's hiking, biking, walking trails, just so many good things to do, and it's just a really great vacation spot. So peak season in 30A, or specifically like Seaside, Watercolor area, all those beach towns, obviously is going to be Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so if you go Memorial Day to Labor Day, plus, you know, other select times of year like spring break, that kind of thing, it's going to be one, hot, especially in the summer, and it's going to be crowded and expensive. We went this past year for 2 weeks, and it was with the Memorial Day weekend kind of sandwiched right in the middle of the 2 weeks, and that was great because, you know, it's one less vacation day that you have to take off work. But it was, I think, just starting to get into peak season, so it still wasn't too terribly crowded, but like if you go for the 4th of July or spring break, it is going to be so crowded. And it was definitely hot. Most days it was very hot if it wasn't raining, and there were some rainy days, so, but I think that that's just typical of Florida. So some days are going to be rainy, some days are not. We do have hurricane season in this region kind of on the Gulf Coast. So hurricane season, I think, is May to November. So there's really no time that you can go that you can guarantee it won't rain, but it'll be great nonetheless. And I think just even if it does rain, then just being together with your family or whoever you went on the vacation with is super fun, even if it has to be indoors for a few hours one day. Luckily though, because you are on the beach, I feel like the storms don't last very long, unless it is a hurricane or a tropical storm or something like that. Most of the storms would come for a couple hours max and then sort of blow over. And even if it was still overcast, we would still be able to go to the pool or get outside on those days. Like I mentioned, it is very easy to drive down to the 38 area. We drove from, or we most of the time drive from Houston, and if you drive without kids and you do very minimal stops, it takes about 10 hours to get there. I think it's 9 hours of drive time and basically like 1 hour worth of stopping to get gas, to get food, whatever, to stretch your legs, whatever else you need to do. If you go with kids, it will take at least 12 hours. And these are times that are from Houston to like Watercolor Seaside area. So give or take a little bit, but definitely consider the fact that if you go with kids, you will probably have to stop for at least the equivalent of like 25% of your total travel time. I would say especially young children who need diaper changes, or maybe even children who need bathroom breaks because their bodies are small and they need more frequent trips to the bathroom. And so we had to stop at least every 3 hours when we went, when Shep was 8 months old. And we did do an hour stop for lunch on that drive, and it took right around 12 and a half hours to get to our rental house in Watercolor. This past time that we went, we ended up having me fly with Shep and William, and the flight is super easy. We were in the plane for less than 2 hours. It was not long at all. And I will do another video on how to fly with a newborn and a toddler, or an infant and a toddler, because that is a whole other basket of worms. Basket of worms? Bucket of worms? Bucket of worms. I think it's bucket of worms. Worms wouldn't stay in a basket. Be too porous for them. So anyway, so that is a whole other bucket of worms. I will do another video on that. But that being said, flying in is super easy, but you will probably want a car when you're in these beach towns, when you're in Watercolor, whatever, or wherever you may be staying. So that being said, plus we had all this baby gear that we absolutely could not fly with. So Jeff drove the car, and he left at 4 a.m. and he arrived at the house at 2 p.m. We left Houston. We left to drive to the airport around 8 a.m. Our flight departed from the airport at 10 something, and then we landed I think just before 1 in the Panama City Beach. It's the airport code ECP. And then we had a car service pick us up and drive us to the house where we were staying, and it took about 45 minutes. So we got there just before 2 o'clock anyway, and it ended up being very seamless and a lot less hectic than I thought it was going to be. With one caveat, it was my first time flying with both boys, and the stroller bag that I purchased for my stroller, specifically from the manufacturer for this stroller, the stroller wouldn't fit. And I had never tried, I just didn't try it out before I went to the airport. I just figured, oh, it's made for this stroller, it'll fit. It didn't fit. So that was a disaster, and I had to basically just leave everything on the jet bridge, my stroller bag, my stroller, like all the stuff that I had that I was gonna put in that bag, and just hope that it made it there. And praise God, it did. We did not lose our stroller, because strollers are very expensive. But anyway, other than that whole stroller fiasco, it was a very seamless experience, much better than driving 12 hours. On the way back, we did drive the full 12 hours, and it was not too bad because William was 3 months old at the time, so he slept really well. As long as he had a clean diaper and wasn't hungry, he would sleep really well. There were times when I had to get over his car seat, not that much, just twice in the course of that road trip, and nurse him while he was sitting in the car seat. It was very dangerous. I don't recommend it. Very uncomfortable for me, dangerous, don't recommend it, don't do that, but it was necessary at the time. He was screaming, it was putting the driver in jeopardy, Jeff, and so we had to do what we had to do. But and then as long as you have plenty of snacks and entertainment for your toddler, then it will work. I would also recommend having a back seat that's big enough for you to sit in between your 2 car seats if you have 2 kids. So like for an adult, whoever's the passenger adult, to be able to get into the back seat and monitor the kids and keep track of them. Like unless they're a little older and can kind of be a little more self-sufficient in the back seat, you will not want to have just one person driving and all the little kids in the back, because that would be just an absolute disaster, because you can't get back there and help them and get them snacks and help them when they like mess up their iPad and that kind of stuff. So anyway, once you get to Florida, where are you gonna stay? Find your neighborhood, whichever neighborhood you like. You can see this actually, believe it or not, is a coincidence that I'm wearing this today. I just thought this looked really cozy, and it's cold inside, although it might be 105 degrees outside, it's really cold inside, and I get cold during the day. So anyway, in my seaside sweater, find the neighborhood where you want to stay, and then you can go online to the websites we use are exclusive30a.com or 360blue.com. So it's the word exclusive and then 30a.com or 360 the color blue.com, and they have all kinds of vacation homes and rentals. You could look on Airbnb and what's the other one, Vrbo, for homes as well. I have not done that. I think it's all the same properties, but this property management company, Exclusive 30A, 360 Blue, they do a really good job of making sure everything is clean, supplying you with bikes, pool passes, all kinds of things. So all of the homes that we have stayed in have come with bikes. Some have come with a golf cart as well. They all come with, because we're staying in watercolor, they come with passes to get into the pools in watercolor for free, so you don't have to pay an entrance fee for all of the pools, and you can go to whichever one you want. If the house that you stay in does not have bikes that come with the house, which is very rare, or if you need more bikes than come with the house, a lot of them will come with like 4 or 6 bikes with the house. But if you have a big group of like, we had, I think, 14 people on our most recent trip. And so if you come with a group that big, you're gonna have to get some extra bikes. And so the company that we like to use for our bike rentals is called Big Fish Bikes. I will link them down below. They are really competitively priced as far as bike vendors go for that area. And I think we saved like $5 a day or something like that compared to some of the other competitors. So I'll link them down below. You can get trailers for kids. So that's really helpful if you have young kids who can sit upright. So probably like, 18 months and up, who can fit in those little trailers that you would pull behind a bike. They also have equipment trailers where you can put all your beach bags and whatever else you need for the beach into a trailer, and they'll bring you a bike with the trailer kind of attached to it, so you don't have to worry about anything. They'll drop it off right at your beach house, and they'll pick it up on the day that you leave or whenever. And they are a great vendor. We love them. Not sponsored. I just really love Big Fish Bike Rentals. I would use them every single year. They also have infant seats. They have tandem bicycles. If you want a tandem bicycle, we've never gotten that. We have gotten the infant seats. Outside of bikes, other fun things to do are obviously go down to the beach. We like to go down to the beach in Seaside from Watercolor. Watercolor kind of surrounds, Seaside's like a little semicircle right on the beach, and Watercolor is kind of like a U shape that surrounds Seaside, more or less. And so we rent beach chairs in Seaside. They will give you a wristband, 1 per chair that you rent. And so typically we will rent 4 chairs and 2 umbrellas, and then Like I said, all the houses will come with pool passes, that kind of thing. So some people go down to the beach, some people go to the pool, and I think that's a really good way to not get sick of each other when you're on vacation with your whole extended family, is kind of just everyone do what they like to do, spend some time together, spend some time with just a couple people from your group, whatever it may be. But so renting beach chairs is crucial. You can get public access to the watercolor beach, but it's super crowded. It is, in my opinion, not as nice. You can bring like tents and coolers and that kind of stuff down there. So if you want to do all that stuff, set up your own chairs, set up your own tent, carry all of your own stuff, then maybe that's an option. But I will say that driving all your stuff to the parking and trying to find a parking spot is very challenging. So as little as you can drive is best. So anyway, take that into consideration when you think about how you're gonna port your stuff to and from your house, because you really don't wanna have a car. Even having a golf cart is a little challenging. Biking is the way to go. So what I would recommend doing if you were gonna stay for a week is maybe like 2 or 3 days beach, 2 or 3 days pool, depending on your appetite for sand. We lean more towards the pools just because it's really hard to get sand out of babies' feet and that kind of stuff. And taking a newborn or a really little baby to the beach, they don't really enjoy it. But once your kids get a little bit bigger and like playing in the waves, like hunting for shells and crabs and building sandcastles and kind of burying you in the sand and all that stuff, then it might be a little more fun to do a few more days at the beach. But the pools are so fun. Our favorite pool is Camp Watercolor, and they have slides, they have a lazy river, so super fun. One recommendation I do have is if you go to the watercolor pool, you can do the wine world, which is also called wine bar at watercolor. That's what we call it, but it's really called wine world afterward. And they actually surprisingly have really good kid-friendly options. And then afterward, go to the watercolor candy store, which is right around the corner from that. So that's a really fun afternoon, in my opinion, is, you know, do lunch, or maybe beach in the morning, lunch, naps, and then watercolor pool in the afternoon after your nap, followed by dinner at Wine World, and then a trip to the watercolor candy shop. Highly recommend. We did that a number of times and it was so fun. If you are staying in watercolor, another fun thing that you can do is take a day trip or a half-day trip to other beach towns like Rosemary Beach or Alys Beach. I love Rosemary Beach. I think there are more shops there than in Alys Beach. We went to Alys Beach and it was okay, but Rosemary Beach is a little more fun. So I think top 3 beach towns for me are definitely Seaside, tons of shopping, tons of great food right there on the beach, so much fun. Watercolor, because it has all the pools and all the there are plenty of shopping and restaurants in watercolor as well. And then Rosemary Beach, because it's very similar to Seaside. It has a lot of shops right on the beach and plenty of places to stay, plenty of restaurants. The last part of this video, I am going to rattle off our favorite restaurants, and if I have a recommendation from those restaurants, then I'll share that as well. But I know we're getting a little bit long, so I'm just gonna read from my iPad and do it really quickly. So, Great Southern, they have the best grits in the whole wide world. You definitely need a reservation. Reservations open the Monday prior at noon. So if it's like Monday morning, 11:59 a.m., you need to go on and have it ready and refresh it on your phone, and then at noon make your reservation for the following week. So if you're gonna stay for 1 week, then you would do it the week before you leave, or like if you're leaving that Saturday, you would do it that Monday, and then you would stay Saturday to Saturday, and you'd be able to get a reservation for anytime that week. Sunday to Saturday is how the reservations work. So highly recommend Great Southern. Eat there as much as you can. Everything is delicious. I liked the fish sandwich. It was really good. The grits obviously are amazing. I think they also have breakfast, but I've never been for breakfast. Other favorite place is Wine World. They have the best wedge salad I've ever had. It has like grapes in it. It was delicious. The tomato Florentine pizza from Wine World is also amazing. That is a highly recommend from me. It's surprisingly kid-friendly, so they've got great kid options, and if you sit outside on the patio, really good patio, and they have high chairs, and kids are loud, and the kids won't be disruptive when they're out on the patio, so that's great. And they have a kids menu as well. Happy hour at Wine World ends at 6, so if you go before 6, you can get happy hour prices. They're not really that great of deals, but you know, you save a few bucks on a glass of wine, I think. And then it's also a great date night spot. So if you don't have a reservation somewhere, but you want to go on a date, you can normally get into Wine World, and so that is a good kind of fallback, or like if it's impromptu or something and you want to go after the kids go to sleep and go on an impromptu date or something, Wine World works. We also went to George's in Alys Beach for the first time this past trip, and we went for lunch. I got the salmon BLT wrap. It was amazing. Highly recommend. We didn't have a reservation and we got there around 11:30 and we were able to get right in and have lunch on the patio. It was beautiful, beautiful weather. Shepherd got house-made chicken fingers, which were apparently very good. I didn't get to try them. And Jeff got the burger. He always gets the burger, or not always, but he loves getting burgers, and he said that it was really good as well. Next, Red Bar does not look like it would be delicious, but it is delicious. They only have a few things on their menu, but all of them are amazing. However, this past time we went, Jeff got the manicotti, and he thinks that that's what made him sick. So just be on the lookout for that. Nobody else got sick, and he was sick for like multiple days, which when it's food poisoning, you're not really sick for more than like 24 hours. So I don't think it was food poisoning, and I don't think it was the manicotti from Red Bar, but we didn't call to ask or anything like that. So I guess you never know. Nobody else got sick. I tried some of his manicotti. Shepherd tried his manicotti. Neither of us were sick. And so anyway, I got the chicken, and it was just like, I think like grilled chicken or something, and vegetables and a salad, and it was amazing. It was one of the best meals I had the entire trip, if not the best meal. So everything at Red Bar is just so good. Perfect Pig is another crowd pleaser for our family. However, the service has been really slow the past few times we've gone, so I might recommend doing takeout from Perfect Pig instead of trying to dine in, just because their service has been really slow for like years. This is not just a recent thing with like labor shortages and all that. Like they're just, I don't know why, they're just really slow. So, but my brother and sister-in-law got the grouper, and they said that was the best grouper they had had all trip, and they'd had several groupers. So that's the recommendation from Perfect Pig. Pizza by the Sea is another really good one. On the day that we get to watercolor and we're exhausted, we just want to eat pizza and unpack and go to bed, we get Pizza by the Sea. It's right next door to Publix, so you can stock up on your groceries at Publix, grab your pizza. I would recommend ordering it before you go into Publix so that it's ready afterward. Grab your pizza, take it home, and we build our own with pineapple, Canadian bacon, pepperoni, and jalapeno, but you can put whatever you want on it or get some of the ones that they already have, and it's really good. And I think they have a gluten-free crust one because my sister-in-law is gluten-free, and she really likes that one as well. And they have good salads too. I can't remember what the name of the salad we got was, but it's like the spinach salad or whatever, whichever one that is. Scratch Biscuit Kitchen. I like this one. The biscuits are fluffier rather than dense. So if you're like a biscuit purist and you really want a thick, dense biscuit, you may not like Scratch, but I loved it. I like a fluffy biscuit, and they make really good biscuit sandwiches. They have one with fried chicken and honey mustard and pickles, and it was amazing. Not healthy, but very, very delicious. They also have decent grits there, but if you're wanting good grits, just go to Great Southern. Black Bear Bread Co. They just opened up a new location in the Seaside Circle. They have amazing pastries. We got so many loaves of sourdough bread from there and used them to make sandwiches throughout our vacation at the house. The lemon blueberry scone is phenomenal. My sister-in-law Emily told me about it, and she told me it was amazing, and she was right. It was amazing, and I really wish that I had one right now, even though we're in the middle of Halt 30, which is so not great. So anyway, next, Pescado and Rosemary Beach. You need a reservation. So I had been dying to go to Pescado and Rosemary Beach. It is very famous for the rooftop patio and the gorgeous views of the ocean and the sunset, and just really good food. And so I went 60 days before our trip, or before the day that I wanted a reservation. Reservations open up 60 days in advance, and I called them at like 11:30 in the morning on the 60 days or whatever, 60th day before, and made the reservation, and I got one. And so I would definitely recommend doing that. You cannot get in if you just show up. It's very, very unlikely. They also have a really fun looking piano bar downstairs in Pescado, which we didn't do, but I love piano bars. So next time we go, we're definitely gonna try to make a point to make it to the piano bar, where you just kind of put some money on the piano and you can request songs. So that is super fun. That's my favorite type of bar. So definitely worth the hype. We got a cheese board and then some small plates. We got the ribs and the scallops and a brownie and a cheese board in total, and it was delicious. Too much food. We both left stuffed. The cheese board is way too much for 2 people. We didn't even finish it and we were still stuffed, but super good. Highly recommend Pescado, but you will need a reservation. Other great places, ice cream from Mountain Beach Creamery. The Hub was fun too. They have a bunch of different places and it's very casual. Sometimes there's outdoor live music, great outdoor place. North Beach Social was really great too. They have good pizza, they have a poke bowl, they have obviously great fish sandwiches. The Meltdown, delicious. My husband's go-to at the Meltdown is the smokin' turkey, and this past time when we went, I got the strawberry fields and it was incredible. The Meltdown is a food truck on Seaside. They make like grilled cheese type sandwiches and it's phenomenal. You should get a pink lemonade and a strawberry fields and a smokin' turkey, and it's just gonna change your life. They're so good. So they also have other good food trucks along kind of the road 30A in Seaside, and so there's tons of good options, but the Meltdown is a staple. We go there several times each trip while we are in Florida. And then finally, our last favorite restaurant is Modica. It's actually a market, but they have great muffins, great coffee, and honestly, it's not the best food in the world, but it's just such a quintessential seaside place, and we stopped there several times. So anyway, those are all of my seaside watercolor recommendations. I hope you learned a lot from this video on how to book your 30A Florida beach trip. If you liked this video, please leave a like down below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Definitely share this video with someone that you know who is planning a trip to Florida or has a family and needs a good trip recommendation. We absolutely love our trips to watercolor, to 30A, and I will see y'all in the next video.